Okay, so I have finished arranging everything to match, other than the little stinger here, or the little barb at the end. And I think I would probably create that with cone. Let's try that. Top view. And then front view. There it is. Okay. Oh, I don't want to do that. Whoops. Sometimes it'll do it uniformly and sometimes it won't. Okay, so down here you see this, let me move this closer. You see this pull down box right here? It's going to start with a screen or view as the default. If you change this to local when you're working, it will allow you to rotate something and then still scale it as if it was not rotated. And I'll show you what I mean there in a second. Rotate it slightly. And don't be afraid to zoom in there. Oh, that looks like that was right. Okay, so I'm going to move this over in the top view. There we go. And again, I'm going to zoom in there. Make sure I get it where I want it. Okay. So let me go back to the front view. Show what I was talking about. It's not much of a barb, really. But it works for now. I mean, I didn't really want it to be pointy sharp, so it's scary. I just kind of wanted to round out the end there. Okay, so I'm going to create this sphere. I'm going to just create it over here in the top view, and then you'll see it in my... Okay, so I have this sphere. If I squish it and rotate it, let's rotate it, and then change it back to view. You see how my gizmo is still oriented north, south, east, west? And when I go to try to do anything with this, it distorts it. It's not what I want. If I change this to local, it will rotate my gizmo to the object, and now I can make changes to it according to its coordinates and not the world's coordinates. And then you have all these different other ones that you can work with, and I honestly have not tried all of them. I usually just use the screen, the view, world. We'll use world later when we get into more complicated stuff. Parent, it doesn't have a parent because we haven't linked it to anything. Yeah, but the local is what allows me now to scale it to its own coordinates. Okay, so this is the gist of my character. It looks pretty much what I was going for. It does take some practice to get what you're going for. I'm not really happy with the head yet, but I think the head needs some other work. And it's beyond what we're going to do for now. We'll get into how to really work with that to keep it from being just this shape. Okay, so again, I'm going to change this to local. Whoops, local. And then I want to be able to can rotate. It's a lot harder than trying to rotate three-dimensionally. I think I just need to make the head bigger. still think it's not big enough compared to my sketch. I have my sketch over here and I'm looking at it. Oh, I don't want it too big. That's a little better though. I think that's better. Okay. Okay, and so what I'm now going to do is go through here and let's start with the head. Go to my compound objects. And I'm going to Boolean union. And I'm just going to go through and add my operands and select these objects. Ooh, I really wanted that to be a little bit closer, but it's okay. Okay, and so we ended up turning that into a single object. And so that is now one object. Okay, so I'm going to turn that off. And now you can see when I select my caterpillar, he's one guy. Top view. Yep. Let's do the 3D. We'll see him in 3D. And so the next thing I would do is create his legs. And I'm going to do that with capsules. Okay, so I'm going to go to Extended Primitives, Capsule. And I'm going to come draw it over here in my top view since I didn't change this one right quick. Just draw it. Okay, that works. I'll show you what I drew here in a second. There we go. Okay, so I got these little capsules. I want to use those for his appendages. Let's make adjustments. Let's make it 3 even. Make it a little bit thinner. And then height, let's drop that down to 40. And let's see how that looks. Still a little too tall. Let's drop it down to 30. There we go. And those look more like the little appendages that I had created in my sketch. And I need to move this over. Okay, and then let's looking at my view down here just so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, so my next thing would then be to come in here and create my little legs. And I'm going to go through and attach these through to all the body parts just like in my sketch, which is, let's see if you can see that, the sketch. So I'll go through and I add all those little legs to my character, and I first would lay them out. We'll lay them out in my front view, and then I'm going to flip around my other views. There we go. That might actually be the better view to work in because now I can see where they are. And put the little legs, and then I can move them around all independently of each other. Okay, and so let's just, so that we can use modifiers, go down here and add a taper to that. I want to get that right before I start copying it. Because once I copy it, I want to make them copies. I don't want them to be clones of each other. There we go. So it looks a little bit more like a wooden leg and a little bit less like a capsule. Let's do 0.6. Oops. Trying really hard to click on this over here. There we go. Yeah, I like that. I think that works. Okay, so I'm going to stop this here. I'm going to add all his legs, and I'll be back.